What's up, guys? Wolf from Walmart here. We are back again back at Kayak City. We got some newness coming through for the RVR. I'm super excited. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this sucker unloaded, get it inside. We're gonna get started. So all you really need from this install technically is a pair of pliers and a screwdriver. I mean, you could go with the drill, you could do whatever you want, but you basically need either a number 2 or a number 3 tip screwdriver or drill bit and a pair of pliers or sockets to grab the bolt on the back side. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unscrew this. We'll pop this plate off and attach the anchor wizard. But first things first, let's locate the anchor wizards where we want them. RVR has a plate right here specifically set for that, so I already know that's where that's going. Yeah, I'm going to smack my knuckles. Everybody complains about it, but you know what? I'd rather smack my knuckles than be floating off my spot every single chance that the wind gets to take me there. The second one, I'm going to go ahead and got my phone on my boat. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set it right here in this track mount because I don't know if you know anything about the way Bonafide does their stuff, but they make sure everything is set perfectly. Sure, I could set it in this recess right here, along with, so it's identical to the other one. But setting both of them right here, now, if I ever want a motor mount, or not a motor mount, excuse me, a throttle mount, I'm kind of stuck with having the throttle mount behind me. When I could easily set in, which is perfect space for the lever right here, the throttle mount for, say, an MK Pro. Who knows? But for now, that's where that's going to go. And the cool thing is, they already have these preset holes in the boat, so I don't even have to worry about running the cable out here or there or the other, back and forth. Like right here, look at this, perfect example. Boom, right there. Right there. Cable goes in right there. Back to the stern. Comes out right there. Ties onto my anchor. Easy peasy install. The tubes run completely through the whole hull, so I don't even have to worry about fishing like I was saying earlier. Let's get to now the first and most important pieces of these, besides the anchor wizard and line itself and the anchor. Hardware. So when I say first, I mean third. So on this side, Bonafide has a removable plate that I can mount that anchor wizard to. And after a thought process of accessibility and what do I want to do with this stuff, I've actually decided to take the other anchor wizard off that track mount and do it straight to that other hard plate. Only reason being is I don't have a motor coming anytime soon, and sometimes I like to use that track mount up there for extra stuff, boxes and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and keep using that track mount for what it's made for, which is accessories. And I'm going to run the anchor wizard in the lower plate. Yep, I'm going to be knuckle knocking, but I won't be floating. So we're going to go ahead and look through this hardware real quick. Let's take a look what we got here. I got nut and bolt mount, and I got a track mount option. And then I got these plastic tightening bolts. I'm always curious when I get hardware exactly what I'm going to use and what I'm going to need it for, because these nuts, the thread patterns seem to go for both fairly decent. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the hardware that I'm going to use to mount this. I'm going to go ahead and remove this plate, and we're going to get to it. So another thing what I was talking about when Bonafide set these recessed plates for Anchor Wizards, the bolt pattern is ready to go in here, but also it's recessed. So when I go to put the bolts in and I bolt from the underside with the nut sticking up, the bolt head isn't up against the hull itself. They give you plenty of space. I would say plenty of space for the nut, but on further investigation, that nut sticks up quite a bit higher than that edge. I know I can't really get a good video clip of it, but so I'm going to do from the bolts down going up. Take this plate over here and let's get to it. Like I said, I got my screwdriver, I got my pliers. I mean, these are my handy dandy pliers, they're always on me, but that's all I really need for this install. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Anchor Wizard. I'm going to make sure that when I put the plate on, I put it facing the right direction. They have a beveled side here to tell you which side the plate goes on. So this is my front anchor because it goes on my right side. So I go ahead and I line up my bolt pattern here with my Anchor Wizard. That looks great. I come through the bottom, and I'm only coming through the bottom because of the size of the recess well. Bolt goes through the plate, through the Anchor Wizard plate. And that goes on about handy tight, so I can go ahead and lock in the next one. Next bolt nut, through the plate hole, through the Anchor Wizard hole. Nut goes on. I mean, this is DIY, do it at home. You can do it at the boat ramp type install. Like, they made this specifically pretty easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. This is where a lot of people would prefer a drill and a socket or a nut lock. But, I mean, honestly, a pair of pliers and a screwdriver does the same thing. Boom. And my Anchor Wizard is now mounted to the plate. What do? Let's go put the plate back on. Plate's on. The next thing I get to do is pull some string and start running it through this guide right here. So now, I go ahead and I pull the string out of my Anchor Wizard. Give myself a nice good length. The end's a little frayed. I bet a lighter would fix this. Let's see how it fits though. And I just start running. I just start sending it through. I mean, it's not going to come out the front for a minute because I'm only doing a couple inches at a time. That's what she said. Sooner or later, I'm going to see the tip of that string stick out the other end. And boom. I'll be pulling it through, tying off my anchor, and done deal. That's the hole the string's going to come out of. So I just keep pushing it through, and I'm actually using my GoPro like a rear view mirror so I can see when it comes out. There we go, right there. Boom. Take this, oh, apparently there's some water in there. It happens. The cool thing is, there's no water in my hole, it's only in this tube. I love that they did this. I think it's genius to go ahead and put these tubes in the hole ahead of time. That way I'm not getting water penetrating. Next up, I got this little carabiner right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a loop, put it through. I like fishing, so I tie a Palomar. I feel like that knot will be solid enough for what we're doing here. Go ahead and pull this all down. Boom. And I can cut and burn the edge if I like. But for now, Anchor Wizard. Oops. So it doesn't fit through the whole handle, which is great. Boom. Anchor Wizard is out. Done. Anchor line is out. Come on back to here. Boom. It's locked. The tension that this thing has is amazing. And there's my anchor just sitting right there, ready to go, ready to drop. No more floating. That's the first one. I am excited. Let's jump on to the second one. Now for the second one, I'm going to be doing the same thing because like I said, I'm going to leave this track free. I could put it here. It does have the track bolts to be able to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. And the reason why I'm going to do it here is because, like I said, no throttle mount needed right now. So let's go ahead and get this thing done. Back again at the table. Same thing, same plan, same game. And I'm doing this by hand just to give you guys an example of how easy this setup really is. So again, the bevel side goes to the front. But this time, it kicks the opposite direction, which tells me that's on the left side, which is my backside anchor wizard. So this would be the back side of the plate. I point the port that has the cable towards the back. Pull through. Bolt through. Nut. Nut. Screw down super tight. One. Screw down super tight, two. This would go a whole lot faster with the drill and nut locks, like I said, but again, it is that easy. You could do this at the boat ramp with a pocket knife, dang near. So, we'll go ahead and put it on. Like I said, I find the end of the cord, pull out the cord, pull out the cord. I'm gonna run this cord right through this rear port right here, and it's gonna come out the back end. Special shout out to Troy for letting me use his tools. Over here at Kayak City, Troy and Eric and James and Scott have been gracious enough to let me kind of mess around with just about everything in the shop. I really appreciate it. Now if you still don't feel like this is enough information, with an anchor wizard, there's not a whole lot of information to be had. This is pretty much one of the easiest installs I think I've ever done on my boat, minus cup holder. Here at the back end port, again, I'm using my GoPro as a rear view. I'll go ahead and pull out the cable. Feels like there's a loop in the line. There is. That's crazy. There's an overrun in here. I don't know how, but I am the king of backlashes because somehow I already backlashed my anchor wizard. So, in dealing with this backlash, I've decided to pull the whole cord out. I'm kind of glad I backlashed because now I know how much line I get inside my anchor wizard. So I'm going to go ahead and run a general. Seeing as those are 12-inch squares on the floor, we're going to say a general measurement. And when I say general, it's because I'm running the line slack. So I'm definitely undercutting it a bit. But I'm going to have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 30. I'm going to say about 40 feet. Now, it might be 50. I mean, see how loose and squirrely it is? It might be 50. It might be 55. It might be 100, and I'm just stupid. But looks to me it's about 40 feet worth of line. So I could pretty much anchor in 40 feet safely, no problem. Plenty of grip on the anchor down there and have still some line left in the anchor wizard itself. So in that overrun, when I pulled the cord, somehow I pulled the whole cord out of the anchor wizard. So I have to go into the system to put the nut back in. So it's easy. You pop off the bottom plate. This is the bolt that holds that nut right there. And I'm going to go ahead and install the cable back through where it's supposed to be. So this is very important. Don't go through the big opening in the back. Go through the cable release point. Cable down inside the anchor wizard. Tie your knot I don't want a lot of tail end on this though, so I'm gonna slide my knot up a little bit. So maintaining this is pretty easy too. So there's 2 plastic tabs on the base right here. One here, one here. And you pop them in, there's openings right here on the face of the Anchor Wizard and on the back. All you do is push the tabs in, the bottom pops out, you can maintenance it right here. Simple and plain. I'm gonna go ahead and get the assembly put back together and we're gonna throw it back on the boat and it will be done. Even with this overrun and this fix, right now, I'm looking at about a 20-minute install. That is not bad at all, especially for doing it by hand, no drills or nothing. I figured I just better show you how easy this is, but literally, that pin goes right inside there. Bottom is back on, and we are ready to rock. I'm gonna go ahead and oh, another thing is you wanna loosen this up a little bit before you do that. We're ready to rock. I'm ready to tighten this thing back down. Are we ready to roll, baby? Roll. So here we are back again. I still have all my line out, so I will be cranking it back in. But we're gonna go ahead and use this port again. Wonderful tubes that are set inside this RVR. You know, this is the only boat that I have that's, well, this is the only boat that I have. I gotta use my rear view mirror, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick this on real quick. And honestly, I feel like they've really thought about just about everything on these things. I was kind of intrigued by these Anchor Wizards because I got them from the Bonafide site. Exactly how they were going to go in, how it was going to mount, how it was actually going to work out. And I am pleased to tell you that this is extremely simple to do. Like, extremely simple. Even my buddy Andy could do it. But apparently, even if it's extremely simple and, you know, even if Andy can do it, somehow I managed to backlash my Anchor Wizard, which, if you know me, I am basically the king of backlash. I am not surprised that I did that, but you guys could easily avoid that by taking your time and making sure the spool comes out right. I was just ripping it through because I was trying to see how fast I could do this. And even with the extra and the mess up and all that stuff, 20 minutes later, this setup is complete. So I'm pretty happy with it. Bonafide, you guys are a G for making this super easy. I am really excited to get this thing out on the water and test these. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank all this line back in and we'll be ready to hit the water. Let's do one more thing while we're talking about it. I was commenting earlier about how everybody's talking about knuckle banging. Let's talk about knuckle banging. Really, I'm banging my knuckles, but it's not as hard as you would think. Now, if I really wanted to crank in there, boom, I'm gonna smack my hand on that seat every time. That's gonna suck. But as long as I keep my fingers pointed down, like this, pinky's out, we should be pretty good trying to get all this stuff back in. Now, right now, I'm just pulling in slack line, and I'm holding it with my one hand to make sure that's, you know, got some tension on it. The real trick is when I get this cord to go tight, right about there, and that'll tell you, and I'm gonna do it with my left hand because it's gonna be on my left side, how easy it really is to, oh my gosh, anchor's up. That was easier than I thought. Less knuckle banging than I assumed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say the Anchor Wizard's the win for the Bonafide RVR. Takeaways real quick. So the install, super easy. Somehow I messed up and backlash. But point being is both Anchor Wizards are installed. My boat's ready to get on the water. That somebody's here. That's always awesome. I'm super excited to say that now when I go fishing, I can just let down the anchors and fish. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to some other stuff, but for now, the takeaway on the Anchor Wizards is thumbs up. I'll give you an on the water opinion after I get them out there a few times. And I also would really like to thank James, Eric, and Troy over here at Kayak City, and Scott for letting me come over here and do all these fun things. I'm super excited to get this thing moving, and I'm super excited for a lot of the stuff to come. So thank you. Remember, if you like this video, like it. If you don't, don't. Either way, leave me a comment and tell me how stupid I am in backlashing my anchor wizard. Or whatever else I did wrong. Please feel free to let me know. I am always down for it. Constructive criticism, trolling, whatever. I'm here for it. So thanks.